The US markets are in Q1 earnings, as you know, and the mixed results are coming out for that. We've had the banks. I'm not sure about the regionals, but the banks are positive, but they popped and then they've dropped, and I think that they're in some sort of corrective pattern. So with the banks, US banks and the Aussie banks can be much the same. I think we have a correction down. We have another move up. Maybe not that far up, but another move up and then a move down at that point. I think we're sort of down at that a bigger correction. So banks can make a new low here, but tech stocks that have risen quite highly, they will just have corrections. And the Australian market has done much the same as well. Now we've got a lot of big tech stocks coming in. They've started, Tesla came, not really, well, I suppose it is a tech stock in a way, but whatever it is. Netflix came in, had lower subscribers, which is obvious because of inflation, but they already had lower subscribers last time around as well. But I think YouTube sort of eats into that into that profit margin for that. But basically the big tech stocks that we follow, they'll all be coming out next week. So this choppy price action that we've been seeing here for the Nasdaq, I think that's going to continue and also move down a little bit here as well. So I think our markets will move down a little bit as well within all of that. So we're not going to get any strong leads from the US markets. That's what I'm trying to say. So the Australian market here, we've been looking at this as a bearish count and a bullish count, and the bearish count would be the B wave up here with wave 1 here and ABC for that top there, and that would be it. If that top was breached, then we'd move into the bullish count. We'd be looking at the bullish count anyway, so let's go in and have a look at the bullish count, which is on 20k ticks, and try to understand that that top there a little bit. And within that, the bullish count would need to see wave forward come into play. How far it comes back is just a sentiment type of thing, depending on, the 38.2%, the way forward, one lesser degree, but it may just come back down here a little bit. We have to just count we have to try to understand the structure and then count that structure and then sort of pin it down and pin it to the closest largest number for support and all the rest of it. But in a nutshell, I think that we're looking for wave 3, 4 and 5, and then the ABC pattern. How far does that pull back? Technically you can pull back here, but 50-60% or support. We know that the 72 is a real balance line going back in history, the old COVID high. So what it's really trying to do, this market is vibrating across the 72 number, trying to find support on it. That's really what it's doing, well, really what it's doing, but that's how I sort of see it. We all see things differently as well. But so the 72 and the 73, all of this area is important this time around, because if it's going to be bullish, it's going to find support on 1, 2 and 3 here somewhere, isn't it? Well, really about the 7,000 in that case, but we've sort of moving away from that now. We need to move up to the next number, keep moving up to the next numbers. So we need to understand this little wave 4. If we get that, we'll have wave 5, then an ABC, and then we'll move up from that point. Obviously, we need to see what sectors that takes with it as well, and I'm thinking that this is pretty much in line with the with copper, really. So I think it's more sort of the resources at that point, but we can drag the banks into that, our banks into that as well. So let's just cruise in here. I'm not sure. I'm just going to have a look at the look. I probably haven't updated a lot of this. I just want to have a quick look here, but I won't drag you in. Okay, so we've been working on this one here, as this has been a bit of a mix here as the A wave and wave 1 and B and 2 here, and then we've been counting up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I don't know what that is. I'll just take that away. I can't remember. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that top there. Of 2 of C at that point. That would be all of that there. So yeah, so now, well, it is what it is. At that point, we need to understand this here now. As the bullish count, though, we'd be looking at this as a wave 4 here and a wave 3 over here for this, and then a wave 5 to the upside there. So anyway, I think that, as I mentioned before, makes such a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. It's kind of nice. So yeah, it's not looking really like a top with this drop here. I mean, we're getting the drop, but it's let's go into 1000 here and just check on this. So okay, so yeah, so we can either have it as wave 5C or 3 here. Okay, and then here I'm really looking at it as I've moved into the wave 4 business here with it, so because I think that's kind of what it is. So we've had that move down here, and yesterday we were in here somewhere, weren't we? We were looking for a move up and then possibly moving down at that point. So it has presented a reasonable A wave, some sort of maybe even a triangle in here for B. I can sort of see it there, but anyway, an A and a B and a C wave here, and probably a horrible looking C wave as well. But so we could have an ABC here and that wave 4 in here, and that's done and dusted, and we've got moved to the upside at that point. So technically we could go long above this top here. I'll have to just check on this on the intraday, go in a little bit further, check. So we could have an ABC to this particular point here, but I don't think that's the case. I think that we'll be down here, because I think that's what we're looking for the US market. So I think we're looking at something like this. Now, as I remember, as I mentioned before, well, let's just go back and just check on something. So where that B wave here is, that would be our wave 1 at that point. So the wave 4 technically from this top up here can pull back to 72 here. Okay, so will that occur? I don't know. We just got to see, you know, I suppose it kind of, you know, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, they've both got tech stocks in them, of course. So we just got to see their earnings, you know, like I think some of the bigger ones come out on the 24th, the ones that we track it. I mean, I only track a dozen stocks. So, and they're a bit of a mixed bag, really. As I've mentioned, we've got Apple, Amazon, and Nvidia moving to the upside. We've got Google correcting, Microsoft going sideways, Tesla down, Netflix down. So it's kind of a mixed bag, really. So we'll see what comes next week. Is going to, you know, the 24th to the 27th is kind of big news, really. So we'll see. So look, if that is wave 1 here, right, if I just remove that, if that is wave 1 here, then wave 3 would be a bit longer than wave 1, which would bring us down to the 73, and then we'll have a bounce off that. We may not get to the 73. There'll be group 1 here of, you know, 10, 20, and 30 in here too, that will give that support. So it may not make it there, but the 4 and 5, so it could be something like that. And then we go up from that point. So we'll keep an eye on that. We also keep an eye on understanding that it can come deeper here as well, you know. So we'll see. I mean, it does make a nice B wave here rather than a wave 2. That's why I'm thinking that we're not in the bear market with this. You know, because as a wave 2 here, it really should have been just here as, you know, some sort of, if this was 20 bars, then this one here, you know, would be sort of, you know, less than 10, you know, but it's not, it's looking more like a B wave. So it's telling me that we've got an A and a B here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be my best bet at this point in time, but we're going to go in and just try to refine that a bit further. But yeah, the takeaway is, I don't know if we've got 73 or down here for this. The US markets will help us with this a little bit as well, as will some other markets. Let's go from 1000 to 100 here. So yesterday, and we just clean up some of this mess. I'm not sure what that line was. That was our little target yesterday for this. Yeah, it didn't really give us an, or did it? Can we count 5 waves up there? Oh God, it's a bit messy, isn't it? I can see parts of it, but more importantly over here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 here and 2 here. And I'm going to assume all of this is the 3rd wave with a 4th wave in here and a 5th wave drop here, and then the A, the B. And I'm going to assume that this is the C wave here. So I'm thinking that I think we're on the right track here with this. So that's there, and this here and this here for wave 2, and then we'll have wave 3 down here and 4 and 5. Like I said, it might get a little bit sort of bigger with all of this. This will be it'll come down and hit this, what's that, 73.50, and then there'll be a slight bounce off that. So that's probably 1, 2, 3. Yeah, look, it's definitely going to bounce off down here somewhere. All right, so I don't know how big the bounce will be. It could be 40%, could be 50%, could be 61.8%, hit it right on the nose, all that sort of stuff. But I'm thinking that let it bounce, and there should be some sort of little ABC pattern that will come back up. Where are we at the 50? So it can come back 50. It'll come back to, the numbers are 55 and 56. I like 56, a bit of a GANS number. I can't remember why now, but I just noticed when I looked at all these trades, it was always talking, he didn't really say anything about it. I just noticed that he'd be buying on that number and selling on that number. Couldn't figure out why though. Yeah, so 56, but my numbers are always 55 and 58. So it can come back to 60 here. So yeah, but anyway, sorry about that. But basically what you're looking for is that B wave low there to short it through that. But at the same time, you could also just look for a classic trading levels pattern at the 50 here. So it'll be, it'll be something like this here. But there'll definitely be, because of this heat, because of this, and this, there will be some, the first bounce is always the highest, and then the second bounce is lower, and so on. So you may want to short the, if you can work out the ABC, which will be a 5-3-5 structure, then you can short it in there as well, and see if you can count 5. We've got to get 5 waves down here first too, by the way. So I think we will. So that's the 50-60% here. So that brings us in around the 58 and 60, yeah. So you could get a really tiny, small, one contract there, so to speak, and then just kind of build in if you can get, I don't know, everybody's different. Some people trade 10s, 5, depending on their, whatever they are, Yeah, so anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, everything is to the downside, so the stop would need to be here. So, and also the long trade would be at that point too, if you wanted to think about it like, if you're a bit robotic, then you'd be long from that side. But we've kind of got a nice impulse wave here, and you could probably get an impulse wave out of this, maybe. Do you think you can? I think that's 1, 2 to here, and 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. I don't see one. Yeah, no, I think that's the A, the B, and the C. So anyway, it's going to be a shit fight here. Okay, probably not the right word. Sorry about that. But that's where the front line is, and patience is the solution, and small positions is the solution at that point. Okay, I'm going to move on from that, and I'm not going to talk about the banks a lot, but my figuring with the banks is while the S&P, while the ASX drops and then goes up, we'll do the same here as well. So there'll be a drop, and then wave 5 for the ASX200. So we've got blue wave 3 for the ASX100. We've got the blue wave 4 coming down. Then we've got blue wave 5 coming up. And then we're going to have an ABC on the XJO. And we're going to have some sort of correction here. Now, will it bring us down here? Will it take that low out? I don't know. Will it stay above that low? Do we count 5 waves up here? What do we do? This is a weekly chart. But yeah, I'm not seeing any buying volume come in here. Do you know what I mean? All I see is headaches here. So I'd rather be short than long, put it that way. But this is the movement that I think that we're up against here. I think it'll be something like, I don't know if we come down here and take the low out, or we stay above that and then we go up there. It'll be something like that. I just don't. yeah, but there's a lot more to go on here. Yeah, I'm not going to put anybody into a trade at this point with this. But if you want to have a bet and a gamble, then you're better off on the short side with the stop above the 100. So that's that. We come over to the commodities now. And with the commodities, this is the US dollar here, of course, but it's central to commodities. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, as you may know. And I'm thinking that we've got a low in here. I don't have enough evidence, but you know, we've just been worked on that first little bar that came in here. That was when, you know, I started talking about this low being in place. And we're just monitoring it, seeing how it's going. If this is the case, then we'll get the ABC pattern here. There is a case when you look at the euro, and maybe not so much the sterling, but the euro and also the ETF for the US dollar. We could also put the wave B in over here. We could do that with the dollar yen as well. Put a B wave in here because it's been off the low here. So the A, the B, and the C wave here. I don't know if that's the case. This could also be 5 waves down, but it does count quite nicely as the B wave. So yeah, it hasn't made, you know, US dollar yen hasn't made a new low here. The ETF hasn't made a new low. It's possible to have a B wave here. So I'm sort of thinking about it, looking at it. But this particular move to the upside here, we've been thinking about it over the last few sessions. So we've had it as wave 1 or A here, and then we're looking for the ABC pattern in here. So I won't do it on this chart. I'll just go into the 100 tick area here. This is where we've been looking at it. So I just want to carry on from that point. So if we consider this the low in here at the moment, then oops, over to this one on that spike, sorry. We've got this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the A wave or wave 1. And then yesterday and the day before, we've been trying to understand the ABC pattern here. And I said that I didn't understand it in this particular point, but now it's sort of shown its face a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier. So perhaps the A wave here with an ABC here for this, and then wave C here, nice and sharp. Looks like an impulse wave here, so we could probably put that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not too bad. We'll see how that builds here, sitting on the 150, so that's a positive thing. So the further it goes up here and takes that top out, the more we can confirm that. And certainly when it moves past this 50-60% in here for that as well, there'll be a sticking point, but that will also be 165, 172 here of group 2. So we can put that group 2 in there, so that will be the resistance. If the 165 finds support, then that will tell us that we're on the bullish track at that point, you know. So these are all the sub levels for between 100 and 200, group 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. 8, we talk about group 2. It hasn't found support in group 2 just yet, so if it does at this time, well, then we'll be moving higher. If it does move higher, so we'll know very shortly if it does move, and I think that it will, but because of the rest of the history here. But if it sits into group, if it finds support on 165 here, then we know that it's bullish. And if it's bullish, it's going to put pressure on commodities. Now, it's going to put pressure on the commodities, different commodities in different ways. This is iron ore here. So, I just don't know how this Chinese Dalcan commodity. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't. It's a shame that we don't have faith in. I don't have faith, in the Chinese system. I mean, it's got its good points and its bad points. If you need to make a change, you can make a change. You know what I mean? It's like you just change it. But we see what happened with the LME, with the Chinese involved in that, and trying to corner the market and those sorts of things. And now they've grouped together to do all their buying. It's not a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing. I'd do the same thing probably. You've got to strengthen your position in business. It's just a game, but you have to be mindful of others. But I suppose the West is not really mindful of others as well. I don't know. So I don't really know what effect this has got now with that exchange price here, because we're seeing this moving down, and we're seeing at the same time we're seeing BHP and Rio moving to the upside. So I don't think it's got a bit of a play on it at this point. I don't know, but anyway, I won't worry about that too much. I should check the Singapore one as well, but with BHP here, we've been looking for we know that this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave A, B, and C. Well, we think it's an A, B, and C. It could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2. But I think FMG is really pushing the barriers on this one. So I believe we're to the upside. And now that we've just sort of took out this top here a little bit yesterday, that's good. But we're at resistance now, so it's likely that we'll drop from here before pushing back up again. Just be mindful of that, and that will be the same for these. We can see the sell-off here. We can see the sellers are in there already, you know. Well, somebody's taken profit here anyway. We're coming into the supply over here. We've just hit, if I put 120 here as a little bit of gravity, then we can look at 1, 2, and 3 here, and then 5, and then 8. So these are the numbers we'll be working through. You put group 2 in there as well, but I'll leave that to you. So really what we're trying to do here is find support on top of number 123 here. So we've found a little bit of support here with a basic classic trading levels pattern sitting on that level there. Just that's the pattern there for that. So what we want to do now is find it on the 123, wherever that is, 123 here. So this 123 here, this is the first high above the level. It needs to come back and check it. So I think that we're above the 61.8% here now as well. Rio is quite good because we can look at this as the A, the B, and the C. Because that's a corrective pattern, it makes all of this corrective. So it will make this, you know, wave 4 can get bigger and uglier. We could turn into a triangle pattern here or some other sort of thing, you know. That's, as a wave 4, that's pulled back sufficient enough, so that's all good. So we should be, even though it will probably drop today a bit, it will keep continuing to push to the upside. So it's looking positive. Oh, we nearly took out that top there, which would have been fantastic, but we will in due course. We could see the sell-offs there. I don't know the reasoning behind all of that, but positive, right? Positive, that's the thing. So we'll keep seeing that push up above the 25 there, and then we'll see the ABC pattern come in here. So I'm thinking when the ASX tops out with a wave 1, and we'll have this ABC pullback, this is what we'll see, you know. So I think that the resources and our banks will be doing the same thing as the ASX. Anyway, we'll just keep an eye on that concept, and we might need to adjust that, but that's where that's playing out from. Over to gold and silver. So this is silver here, and as you know, I had wave 1 sitting over here, right? But I think like the ASX, I think we're kind of going into wave 4 here, then having wave 5 up here, and then having wave 2 over here for this. But we'll just keep an eye on this, because as a wave 4, this would be quite good at this point. Let's just, if we took wave 2 low here to wave here, the 38.2% is here. So there's still space for this to come down further. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Now, if it was going to be a wave 2 here, we'd expect it to come down much further, you know, but so we'll see how far it comes down. That was one way of actually looking at it. I looked at this morning and thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. That's possible. We could probably put the B wave up here and bring the C wave down here and do a few of those things, but I'll just watch it for a moment. The US dollar has been doing the opposite to this particular pattern. So we're going to bring wave 4 over here and bring that wave C over to here, because there can be some more, while the US dollar pushes up, this could be a direct reflection here for this to move down. Or we could, is there a different way to look at that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's pretty clear. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is putting this over to here, but that does look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, we could get that as that could go over to here. Just be a bit careful about that. Yeah. Anyway, we don't need to do anything to here just yet. Let's just check on the US dollar and silver. And this would be the same for US spot gold. So I'm looking at it as wave 4 here and then to wave 5 here. And that would tie in with the resources as well a little bit more as such. So that could work. You know, I mean, basically we can see that the market's churning over it at this major trading level 2 here. So to me, this is all just early days here. You know, I don't think we need to do anything for a month here, really. Basically, I think that I think this whole trend needs to be corrected. I mean, this trend to the upside here from the 28th of September 22, whatever it was here, you know, that's the US dollar top as well. You know, this is moving up like the DAX and the Australian market and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? So I think that we just need to give it a bit more time at this level here. I think that all markets move off together eventually through up like this, you know, but we need this to top correctly here. So yeah, nothing really to do here at this point. This is GDX here from the low here. There's two ways to look at it. We can look at it as wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back over here like silver and so on, or otherwise we'll look at it that needs to move up further here. So we're definitely in some sort of correction here, and the length of wave A here can play out as wave C here. So we expect GDX to come to 33 and bounce. Okay, that's all I can say at this point for it. I won't get too far involved in that, but I did want to have a bit of a look at it. This is Northern Star here for the Australian one, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. We could look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is fine. It won't make a lot of big difference because all we need to do is track these 5 waves up here, then have the ABC here. So it's a bit of a, you know, for short-term traders, you can, you know, be long in these markets, but as a long-term trader, you'll have to go through that ABC here. How big the ABC gets is another question entirely. So, yeah, but I have been putting I did a little bit more work into this. So I'm still a bit unsure about how to count this. Should we look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1 and 2? I mean, obviously you'll say that peak wave 4 here overlaps wave 1. Yeah, I grudge that. So it means we'd need to look, because looking at this way would be a conservative view here, because I know that we're in the third wave. I know that this is the first like decent correction that we've had. It may not be finished. We may need to put it over here. It could be the blue wave 4 as well. But to me, it's normal for the market to hit here in the third wave, come back for the fourth, and then go up for the fifth across a large number like this, and then have the ABC. So I think that's kind of where we are with this. Yeah, when it gaps like this, it's a little bit hard to see inside of those sorts of things. I mean, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, ABC up here, and then come down here for this, and then push up. I don't know, you know, it looks like a little impulse wave here so far, so that looks good. But still, that could just correct here a bit, go up a bit further and correct, and then go up in 3, 4, 5 up here, be something like that. This is obviously across the 14, so that's a nice big number, so we could use that. So yeah, I can't really see inside that wave 4 there. So that would leave the Newcrest mining here. Like I said, I don't know what Newmont is up to with this at the moment. But yeah, look, a dance across the 30 here. If I'm right with the US dollar here, and it does push up based on that 5-wave structure here, then you know, if that does push up through here, then that's going to apply pressure. I mean, we could get some other sort of pattern. We could get an A wave here, a B wave here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down to here. So we could get something like that in the meantime. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 here, and then push up. But that 5 waves here, that needs to play out somewhere over here. Anyway, we'll just see how that goes. If we can get into group 2 there, that 10,165, then let's be bullish at that point, and it'll put pressure on this. But the price is not going to go very far from from here. It'll just stay within group 1 and group 2 here. I mean, obviously that's humongous to some folks depending on what your style is, but yeah. And what happens if Newmont take this over? Do they keep it as Newcrest Mining, or do they just sort of like absorb it into their thing? Not quite sure. Okay, we'll look at the Australian dollar, and then we'll have a look at lithium and copper and so on. So with the Australian dollar here, look, it's pretty messy here. I don't particularly know what's what here, but it's kind of, we do have this 5 waves down here. So but then I was like looking for this to go back up here, but that looks like 5 waves. In fact, this looks like 3 waves here, this move here. I mean, I could put this over here. I could go an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave on that top. But I was thinking that if this top gets taken out, that's got to give us 3, 4, and 5 here, you know. But that would send the US dollar down too, as I was just talking about here. That would need to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then up, you know. But that does look impulsive there. Just looking at it. You know, it looks like just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that looks corrective. We should just have a quick look at that. So if we go into 20 ticks here, I'll just take that, Marcy. It's not just a junk call. I get so many of those here in Australia. Can't they fix them up? Oh, there's a computer talking to me saying that I purchased something on eBay. Nothing against eBay, but okay, so this is the little move up here, and rightio. So at first glance, that's 5 waves, that's 5 waves, that's corrective, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're taking it from, are we taking it from there? So we take it from there. So that will be that. That will be that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there, and this will be 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 extensions in here. So that's 5 waves there, right? So yeah, that's 5 waves. So that should just pull back to this point here, where it is now at the 61.8%. So that should just push up from that point. But if it doesn't, that means that if if it doesn't push up from here, you could go long at 672 as support above these tops here, right? That would be safe to go long at that point. But otherwise, see, this one here is 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for 4. And I mean, we could get an A, B. Yeah, it's all a bit dodgy in here, isn't it? ABC for the A wave, I don't know about that. But this here, if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down here, 1, 2, 3, something in here, it's a bit messy. I'd have to get my head around it. But this here would have to be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. That's the only way that's going to come down at that point. Otherwise, this 5 waves here will need to see 5 waves up here. And then it gets a little bit big at that point. You know what I mean? If it gets 5 waves here, let's say, then it's going to have a 3 back. I mean, it can come down at that point as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then come down. So that would be the next long trade at that point. Coming in here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, pulling back 50, 60%, and then pushing up. I mean, what I want to say, this is really quite big. All of that here is really quite big for this to be wave 1 here. And this is, yeah, I mean, it makes a nice B wave here. That makes 5 waves. That makes 5 waves. So it looks like we need to come up here. That means that the dollar will push down at that point. So, yeah, still not really, I mean, I've only got short-term answers here for this. Don't have a bigger picture just yet, so we have to wait. Let's have a look at the commodities. Where are we here? So we need this chart. We need to go to copper. We need to have a look at copper. Not much movement in copper. We're on the daily chart here. I'm just going to move this to the side. It's not really giving me a nice 5 wave move up here, by the way. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this as long as it stays above the 4 here. right? So that's fine. I'll just have a look at these guys here because we wanted this to pull back here because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, even though this is US here. But so we want this to come back and then move. I mean, it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so on. It looks like a fourth wave here. It looks like a wave 2 here. But we've got 5 waves, so we'll just stay with copper being bullish with a wave 4 in play here, and all the other stocks will be the same. BHP the same, all of that sort of stuff. So all that's good. Let's go to nickel, see how nickel's doing. Not much any change in nickel here. We're pretty sort of flat here with all of this. We're looking for 5 waves up here as an A and a B and a C wave here, but as I mentioned, probably mentioned because it's sticking out, but pretty close to the top there, could be already in there. But it's looking quite strong here. It looks more like a bit of a third wave, so we'll keep a bit of an eye on that. Because we know that the Chinese one here is strong, isn't it, you know? Oh, this is Russian, sorry. You know, we noted this being strong all the way through here. It didn't pull back to this place, but so it just shows even more strength, I guess. Just clean that up. This was the Chinese one here, and that was strong too. So we're seeing strong nickel stocks, you know, and IGO here. I mean, that's just, you know, we're looking at this being, there's a bigger picture unfolding here for this, but I won't go into that. The shorter picture was possible wave 1 and ABC for wave 2 on this low here. So I can't remember what I said here, but I've got lots of arrows pointing up, so I must be, I mean, definitely displaying like a third wave here. So I can clean some of this mess up here. It still could be a wave 2 as an A and a B and a C sitting on top here. And that will be kind of interesting because of what nickel is doing, so to speak. But yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So all I could say here is what we could, yeah, we've talked about it over here before. So this wave 1 and 2 here is this 1 and 2 here. So we can bring this into the fold here a little bit. So 1, 2, this will be the third wave here. We'll still need the 4th and the 5th. So even when we get the 4th and the 5th here, then we'll get the ABC. So we're still a long way off being ready to buy this, you know, to be safe, to have an impulse wave up here, have the ABC back, and this is where we can buy here. It looks like a third wave. Everything looks bullish here. So basically what it's, okay, we've, you know, I didn't get you in, we've missed out, but I think we can just, you know, start to look at it, start to play it this way here with this ABC pattern here as wave 2 in here, with wave 1 up here and wave 2 to come back here. This will probably play out in line with the ASX as well, you know, all of that stuff. You know, because we need a wave 4 here, and then a wave 5, and then the ABC. Do you know what I mean? So, which is good, really. So, yeah. Anyway, that's IGO for us, and lithium stocks. So overnight, because I haven't had a chance to look at these here. So overnight we've got a sea of red here for the US ones. So let's just have a quick look at that. That's a little pullback here. We're just seeing if we get, well, we'll probably get 5 waves up here anyway, but it doesn't mean anything. It can be an A and a B and a C when it gets 5 waves here and then drop, so that's not telling me anything. This one was always of a bit of an interest, but yeah, that's in the same boat here. And some of our local stocks are in this one here too, like this move up and back and up here. PLS is in the same boat here. That same little move here. So we have to move. We have to find the 5 waves here. It looks bullish, but it's not going to go. It's going to be pulled back here to that 4 here at that point. So we'll just see how that sort of plays out at that point. Liontown's down a bit. So, but these ones here, that was good. Keep an eye on these. I mean, that's definitely 1 and 2 here, or an A and a B here. I'm not sure about all that spiky business in here, but we'd have to kind of consider it 1 and 2 and then sort of building here a little bit. That's one way to look at it. This one here was a bit cleaner and tidier, wasn't it? So that looks a little bit impulsive. Now, what does it look like on, say, a 5-minute chart? How is that? Oh, we did have a bit of a look at it. Okay, we still need another move up. I mean, yeah, from this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we still need this move up here, and then the ABC pattern here. That will tell us that we're bullish at that point. That for lithium from you know, $150 billion stock. So the demand will be there for that. So that's all good. Okay, I'll leave it all of that. Sorry, such long videos, but I guess you can just cut into where you need to cut into, you know. So